My name is Chris Barncastle, and I'm the founder of B2 Talent Solutions. So fun facts about me. I've got 6 kids, I've got 2 adult children, and I've got 4 little ones. They're 4 very lively little people. I lived in Europe for 4 years as an expat, and during that period of time, I traveled more than I ever expected that I would in my entire life. And so I went there for family reasons, and decided that it was best to stay there for a period of time, and land on my feet there and work remotely. My wife and I, we both have some very interesting DNA reunion stories. And between the two of us, we have immediate family in North America, in Latin America, in Europe, as well as in Asia. And this is immediate family. And I also happen to make the best tacos that I've ever had in my entire life. I actually make them myself. So there's an entire process to it. And it's one that I've refined and perfected over time. So, yeah. The most challenging one, I think, is the first one or the first 2, because you've got one on each arm initially, or as parents, in tandem, you're both managing one, and the third one pulls you in a different direction. By the time you get to the 4th, 5th, and 6th, you just kind of throw your hands up and say, "We got this." We're playing zone defense now, and we know how to get this thing done. Family means really everything to me, so it's what drives me. Well, I think for me, and this really starts at home. I mean, my wife and I, we have a philosophy that we live by, and that's one of overgiving, and it's based in service. And the idea behind it is that, there's this common wisdom that everyone needs to compromise and come to center, and it takes 2, and you do your parts and all this. Our philosophy is always that you overgive. And with that, you create an abundance, and with that, you can, use that abundance to, provide for others. And so there's much of that. I carry that into the work life as well, and it's really based in service. And so for me, I know that that service is the grounding point really for those elements that inspire me. Well, I mean, aside from what we spoke about in terms of service, I practice gratitude daily. I know that there's a whole lot in my life that I have to be thankful for, and not just in my personal life, but also in my business life and just extended family. I mean, I've got 3 families, and for anyone who loves their family, imagine having 3. So there's a lot to be grateful for there. In the vein of going to Europe, I believe in choosing courage over convenience. And I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to have to look the man in the mirror straight in the eye. And so it's important to me to do what's right versus what's easy. And yeah, that's really it for me. I would say without emotion, commonly. It's usually more so from a punch list fashion that we tend to not get emotionally wrapped up in the challenges. More so we look at challenges as an opportunity to find a solution, challenges as an opportunity to solidify a relationship. Oftentimes, those are the areas where relationships are really forged in handling something well. And I find that if we can engage in that way, then we can pretty much overcome most any obstacle. So, I mean, my wife and I will say that you commonly have to push to the horizon line. You don't have to have all the answers, but you need to be able to push hard and fast to the distance that you can see to. And then from there, you'll have an additional vantage point to look beyond that. I would say humble, really always curious. I mean, and I think that lends well to the company that I have and to the business that I'm in as well, is that we're in a space where it's in its infancy, and there are very few standards in the way in which things are done. So if you don't maintain a sense of curiosity and trying to understand how things work and where to source elements from, then I think that you would fall behind. But for us, it's those things. I mean, I value things like integrity. I value things like honesty. For me, I value transparency. But more than anything else, I value people. I value relationships, and not just relationships, but positive relationships. And it's at home and work. Those things need to be nurtured. And with that, I mean, again, getting back to the philosophy of overgiving, if you're in environments where people buy into that set of ideals, then there's always abundance around you. And I tend to try to create that in my home life, in my work life, and really engage with people that have the same mindset.